Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. We have the Khan Academy team here to discuss live with Denver Public Schools on preparing every student for success. So if you haven't connected with us in a while, welcome from Khan Academy. We are a nonprofit with a mission of the bottom line of learning, not profit. We've been in the business for nearly 20 years now, and a reliable choice in ed tech. And we're designed for teachers and students, powered by responsible AI, grounded in learning science. So, I wanted to give a quick introduction to the fabulous team we'll have joining us today. From the Khan Academy side, we have Jennifer, who heads up our professional learning with Denver Public Schools, and Cody, who leads the district success and implementation there. And then we also have the fabulous Dr. Ted Thompson, Denver Public Schools Executive Director of Secondary Schools, who's going to share with us kind of the secret sauce about what's been working in Denver in preparing students with the SAT. And before I kick it over to them, just wanted to give a quick note that we are the official SAT prep partner. And in partnering with College Board to co-create the SAT courses, this means that our mastery-based SAT courses on Khan Academy are built with real SAT content and are fully aligned to the skills teachers are already teaching in their classrooms. So this ensures that materials with the SAT's content, rigor, format are all being matched. And this is a free resource that students could use to build these skills, gain confidence, and improve their test scores. So you'll hear a bit about what our free offering is, as well as ways we can partner deeper. And just a quick glimpse so you can kind of see what that would look like. Essentially, students would take those practice tests on the College Board site, I believe through the Blue Book app, and then it will directly link them to practice here with us. So when they review that practice test, it would say view that score, and then they have score details and the ability to practice on Khan Academy. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Cody and Jennifer and kind of walk through the implementation details and what that looks like in practice.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Good morning, everyone. We're just going to kick it right off. Dr. Thompson, I would love for you to set the scene for us. What was the challenge that Denver Public Schools was trying to solve, and why did SAT preparation become a district level priority?
Yeah, sure. Again, thanks for having me. When we started in August, we had about 33 secondary schools. It's about 19,000 students that all had a different approach to preparing students for COSAT testing in the spring. And so, given that, we wanted to better understand school approaches to planning and which plans impacted achievement outcomes for students the most. The reason why it's a district priority is because of this impact on the state performance framework. So there are three indicators on the state performance framework: achievement, growth, and PWR, and all those are primarily measured by SAT, impacting grades 9, 10, and 11. And for DPS, that's about 14,000 students.
Wow. So our platform, as Chelsea pointed out, we are the official College Board partner, right? A lot of districts have made that SAT prep available, but what has made Denver Public Schools decide that access alone wasn't enough? What did you actually change?
I mean, I think for us, access did not necessarily translate into consistent use by schools. And so, because we have a variety of partners offering prep options, and we have a variety of secondary courses in literacy and math, we really needed something that was specific and scheduled to help us understand skills growth that was needed for SAT success. And we wanted to make sure that those skills were being explicitly supported during instructional time. Um, so I think, and again, like, this was a very new endeavor. We had this last year. A new team came in over the summer, and we were really trying to make sense and make meaning of current plans that were in place. But again, given all that, we decided to be more strategic around the data we use to inform prep tiering of students and establishing a monitoring schedule to better understand skills growth weekly for all schools.
So, when you take on something to this magnitude, there's a lot of alignment that has to happen. So, who would you say had to be aligned internally for this work, and where did you hit, if any, friction?
I think we had universal alignment around the purpose of this work. Again, because schools had varying experiences based on the partner, I think what we wanted to make sure that there was clarity around was messaging and design for monitoring the work across schools based on the partnership between schools, academics, and the accountability team. I would say the friction came in with the support from various partners to provide data and professional development. And quite honestly, given the capacity of partners, I think we moved to working with Khan more intentionally because you all have support to really like embrace the infrastructure that was conducive for us to support large scale implementation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for mentioning our partnership. So I'm going to pop over to Cody for just a second. Cody, as the district success manager, really honed in on implementation from your vantage point of working with districts across various states. What separates the ones that make real progress from the ones that struggle?
Well, I think that the example that Dr. Thompson has set with his site leaders in looking at moving skills to proficient and mastery really helps move student learning. One request he had was, how do I see what skills are growing in their mastery level? And we really wanted to look at that change happening. So, going beyond time and looking at the increase in skills, Denver really was able to show a tremendous increase in how many skills students were working on. And all of our efficacy research shows that moving skills to proficient or mastered is what makes the change in learning outcomes. So that was a big impact for Denver this year so far.
And that sounds like that's on the road to accountability and visibility, which is a huge part of implementation. So, Dr. Thompson, back to you. Thinking about what Cody has just highlighted in terms of looking at skills to proficient, making those comparisons. When we think about accountability and visibility, how do your district leadership teams stay informed on progress? And then what does that oversight for you and your team actually look like from day to day?
Yeah, I receive bi-weekly reports from Khan, and it shares school level data and district trends. I review that data with my network directors who are in charge of supervising various clusters of schools. And then we identify areas of focus based on the skills gap report that's shared by Khan. The schools teams will then share those reports with their IoT, instructional leadership teams that are monitoring each week to ensure that students are hitting the 30-minute benchmark for the varying sessions that we have dedicated to Khan. Um, for the most part, I feel like our relationship has evolved over the months because we've partnered intimately with our academics team, who has basically used our curricular scope and sequence to support identifying modules based on Khan lessons to kind of create a blended experience for students. So they're getting a regular touch point on SAT style questions and other skills areas throughout their Tier 1 instructional experience.
I love that you have mentioned the isolated SAT practice, but also bringing in those folks from curriculum and having students have access to that practice while they're learning that content as well. I think that's a powerful statement that you just made. Cody, Dr. Thompson told us exactly what he wanted to see, what his leadership team wanted to see. How did you help structure that from the start of the partnership?
Well, I think just really giving the team at Denver and Dr. Thompson specifically what we know works with Khan Academy, and then site level data, I think really helped him drive it with the schools. And then him actually giving us access to work with site leaders directly really helped us move each individual site in the right direction and giving them the knowledge that they needed to really see what was happening with the SAT prep, specifically practice courses. Um, so I think it's important that district leaders know who the impact makers are on campus and who are the ones that can make sure that it's actually happening on campus. And also giving him that data, I think really helped him have the tools to go and talk with his site leaders and network leaders. So it's important to know who is implementing on campus and who is responsible for that. And that made a big difference.
And Dr. Thompson, you mentioned earlier it wasn't just about access. It was being very intentional, putting it in front of students, getting them the opportunity to prepare. And as you've pointed out, doing that in a variety of ways, the isolated practice as well as infusing it into tier one and first instruction. Equity is often a reason that districts take on something also like Khan Academy and district-wide scaling. Do you think that this model has delivered at this point in the year? Do you feel like this model has delivered what you were looking for? And for which students do you see this being most meaningful to change their trajectory for the test?
I think it has. I think, however, like when we launched at the beginning of the year, our primary goal was figuring out how do we scale. So how do we, one, make it accessible, but make sure the right student groups are being exposed to the prep platform, to ensure that we had enough measures to start to really pack data to better understand performance across disaggregated groups. And so I think as we look at the data currently, like it's very promising. We continue to monitor skills growth at the proficient and mastery levels. We continue to compare multiple practice at bats toward the fall PSAT, SAT administration in October. And we're seeing some very promising results for groups that historically have not excelled in their prep experience. So time will tell. A few weeks, and it's the big test. So we're excited about what we're thinking about, and we're also planning for the future with the con team, but also trying to be mindful of our current assessment schedule because I think for us, the more practice at bats we can give students, the more comfortable they are in preparing for the test. And I think we've tried to balance that with all the other administrative assessments that we have to provide, but hopefully next year we can come up with a sequence that is balanced and appropriate for building confidence for students so that they go into the test positive.
I know that I'm definitely excited about your student outcomes. And I've enjoyed working with all of your campuses and the leadership team and the teachers alongside Cody. This next question is for both of you guys, Cody and Dr. Thompson. What would you tell a superintendent who might be attending today or watching this on demand who is interested but is not sure that they have the capacity right now to take this on? Dr. Thompson, we'll start with you, and then Cody will move to you from a district implementation standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would offer there's limited capacity across many systems, especially in Colorado with a lot of budget challenges at the state level. Um, but what I would say is it's really not about your internal capacity, it's really the capacity of the partner. And I think this year, Khan's ability to adapt and support given our school realities and our limited like planning window, we had a week or two to get this thing off the ground. Khan's efforts have been Herculean, and I'm very appreciative of the partnership and the collaboration. We meet weekly, in some cases bi-weekly, like Cody's always available, even on vacation, which I try not to take that time from her. But I've just really appreciated the flexibility and adaptability. And I think that's the key to this partnership.
Perfect. Cody, what about you? What would you say to a superintendent who is interested in a con partnership and SAT preparation, but not sure that they have the capacity from your standpoint?
I think the good news is like Dr. Thompson pointed out, we are adaptable, so we can kind of help fit in wherever you're at and whatever your immediate goals are. But you do have to, I mean, I used to be a former site leader. If something else is kind of put on my shoulders, I have to have support to make that happen. And I need to understand my clear objective and my goals and what's available to me. So you got to kind of think through that a little bit before you sign up for something. Make sure that the site level folks are set on a path that helps with success, because it's hard to get another thing piled on top of you. You know, SAT is important. You know, you want your kids to do well. Um, Having a clear idea of how they can do that is important. And we're thankful that we were able to work with different site leaders, and they all had all different contexts. And we could kind of talk through what their best approach would be. And that was pretty powerful. In some cases, we've worked with districts where it's just a one size fits all approach. And Dr. Thompson's been really good about like really letting us work with those sites and make sure that they know the objective, but we kind of help them think through what the appropriate implementation would be, and push them through the nuances of their own schools. So um, I think it all can be done, and we're willing to help with whatever context is there for that district.
Thank you, Cody. We've heard a lot in just a short period of time today about the implementation for SAT preparation in partnership with Khan Academy. And I just have one final question. It's really about next steps, and it's for both of you, Dr. Thompson and Cody. If a district or superintendent is in the room today, or is watching on demand and wanted to start having a real conversation about this, what would you say would be the right first step? Dr. Thompson, we'll start with you.
Sure. Yeah, I would say assess your current infrastructure for system-wide implementation for prep, and then contact Khan. Basically, I think for us, what do you have, right? And then know your vision for what you want to see at the end of this experience as far as outcomes for students. And that's enough to get you started.
Perfect. Thank you. Cody, what about you? What would be the right first step?
I think that was very well said, Dr. Thompson. And then just give us a call, and we'll have an inquiry conversation on what your structure is, and what your goals are, and how we can best support the learners in your school district.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Thompson and Cody, for your sharing today, just for your mind and your energy. Thank you, Dr. Thompson, for your continued partnership in Denver Public Schools. I do want to remind everyone that Denver Public did this at scale, and you heard straight from Dr. Thompson what that looks like. It's all about the skills to proficient and making sure that students are getting that time and intentionality to prepare for SAT. I do want to kick it back over to Chelsea. She's got a few things to wrap us up. So, Chelsea, back to you.
Thank you. I love that I get to feel like a news anchor. I appreciate it, Jennifer. Thank you all so much for sharing. And just for absolute kind of clarity and reinforcement, I think you'll see here that again, we have a free offering. We have free tools. You could go in today and start using our SAT prep courses in preparation for the upcoming assessment. We could discuss deeper what a partnership could look like. And I think the big difference between success and stagnation isn't just the software, it isn't just the tool at hand, it's the system around it. And so these people on this call having intentionality and working together to make that implementation work. It was the human system around Denver's implementation that has made it so successful, not just, some magic pill of a Khan Academy course. So I thank you so much for all your guys' dedicated work. But a couple things to note: if you are in district partnership with us, formal district partnership, that's some of what comes with it, right? Is that human piece, the supports and implementation systems, as well as the courses and content that are research proven, and then along with AI for students. So some of you may have heard of Conmigo. But what we do see is in formal partnership that districts are 8 to 14 times more likely to reach recommended levels of learning compared to independent use of Khan Academy. And what that recommended learning looks like is back based on that mastery learning system on those skills to proficient. So what Cody was touching on earlier that Dr. Thompson and all of the team has been tracking. And so really what we're aiming to see is like two-ish skills to proficient a week, and hoping that around 30 to 60 minutes a week of practice and learning on Khan Academy. Um, and then again, another component that is a part of that district offering is Conmigo. That is the AI component, a personal digital SAT tutor for students. And it provides just-in-time support and instant assistance and feedback, helps engage in curiosity and them asking questions. But it's another resource that layers on top of that quality content. And then for any of you that are, exploring SAT partnership and are already working with College Board, again, as the official partner of College Board, we do have an even deepening partnership in terms of contracting. So if you're already purchasing the full suite of SAT assessments through College Board, you can now add on Khan Academy as a district partner at a reduced rate of $10 per student. So if that's something you're interested in exploring or would like to learn more about how to deepen a partnership with Khan Academy, please feel free to reach out. You can scan this QR code here, and that will bring you to a demo form. You can select SAT, and it will reroute you to me as the rep for the West and for Colorado. And another thing to note is at the end of this, if you've registered, you will get a replay of the event to watch on demand. We do have an upcoming Superintendent's Fireside Chat webinar with Amy Alzina and Sal Khan this Friday, March 27th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And if you have any direct questions, I'm happy to answer those. You can always email me directly at chelseahatchard@khanacademy.org. But again, thank you so much for your time, Dr. Thompson and Jennifer and Cody, for leading such a fabulous partnership. We really appreciate you, and we hope to connect soon.